Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Ameleta Aprilia. Today I'm going to explain about section 2 course design point 4 language description. You can turn on your book page 24. Any ESP course make use of explicit or implicit ideas about the nature of language. In this chapter, we shall give a brief outline of the various ideas about language that have influenced ESP in some ways. So, there are 6 main states of development. The first main state of development is classical or traditional grammar. According to Howard, 1984, although language teaching has a long history stretching back to ancient times, the ways of describing the language remained little changed until this century. Classical or traditional grammar based on an analysis, so it means the role played by each word in the sentence. And then classical grammar, case-based language, where the grammatical function of each word in the sentence was made apparent by the use of appropriate inflections. And then classical or traditional grammar register analysis, for example, drew heavily upon its terminology and syllabus design. According to Fillmore, 1968, it can also be argued that although cases may no longer be apparent in modern English, the concepts they represent underlie any language. The second point of main stage of development is structural linguistics. In structural linguistics is described in terms of syntagmatic structure, which carry fundamental proposition like statement, interrogative, negative, and then the last is imperative, and also the notion such as time, number, and gender. According to Wilkins, 1976 and Williamson, 1979, the structural syllabus continues to be widely used in spite of criticism from advocates of functional, national, or use-based description of English. And then according to Allen and Widdowson, 1974, in particular, it may fail to provide the learner with an understanding of the communicative use of the structures. The third main stage of development is transformational generative grammar. In transformational grammar only describe the surface structure of language, not explain a relationship of the meaning. The example of transformational generative grammar is John's. The first example, John is easy to pleasant and John is eager to pleasant. So in the third point, some relationship between the word in the sentence, but obviously the relationship isn't the same. Example, the first example is the receipt of pleasing, while the second, he is doing the pleasing. The first is receive, and then the second is doing the pleasing. Okay, for the second example is the Citibank has taken over SM Holdings and then became ACAM Holdings has been taken over by the Citibank. Here the relationship of meaning within the two sentences are identical, but in a structural description this cannot be shown. The second example is like the passive voice, like the passive. Okay, for the fourth main stage of development is language variation and register analysis. Our purpose isn't to give a detailed analysis. If we detailed analysis, it is clear that language use shown considerable variety. And then view language as part of communicative whole is only possible because the audience can see both the object referred to and the speaker's actions. A Morse taper sleeps. This is fact that enable us to distinguish, for example, formal from informal and then written from spoken. Varies according to the context of use, give rise to the type of ESP which was based on register analysis. And then the concept of language variation, the formal characteristic of various registers in order to establish a basis. For the last point of number 4 is focused as a result on determining from the common stuff of the grammar of the language. Okay, the fifth point the fifth point of main stage of development is functional or notional grammar. Functional grammar are concerned with social behavior and represent the intention of the speaker or writer. For example, advising, warning, and describing. Functional. Functional reflect the way in which the human mind thinks. And then notional. Notional divides reality, example, time, number, gender, and quality. Okay, for the next, the mind and terrible language was difficult to establish on formal grounds since the formal structure of language shows considerable variation. Equivalence. Into units of equivalent value across the various language on the basis of formal grammar, and then dividing up the learning tasks. Since notions and functions represent the categories of human thinking and social behavior. Equivalence can be achieved has been particularly strong in the development of ESP. The more towards functionally based syllabus is appear to be based on language in use, and then the interaction of the functional syllabus is that it appears to be based on language in use. And then for the last on point 7 in point 5, the main problem with the functional syllabus. However, isn't the syllabus itself, but the fact that it is too often seen as a replacement for the older structural syllabus. Okay, for the last point of main state development is discourse or rhetorical analysis. In the last point is there is more explaining than just word in the sentence. The context of the sentence is also important in creating a meaning. If we take simple sentence, okay, for the first dialogue, for the first example, can I go out to play? And then the answer is it is raining. How about the second? The second example, have you cut the grass yet? The example still, it is raining. It's raining. The third example, I think I will go out for a walk. And then the answer still it is raining. All of the answer is same, right? But both of them is different meaning. Although same sentence, but the meaning is different. For the first example, the answer it is raining. It means it's asking permission to go out. And then the parent said that it is raining. The second dialogue, it is raining. It is raining. What is the function? The function is only as a reason. Have you cut the grass yet? It is raining. The function as a reason, only as a reason. And then the third dialogue, I think I will go out for a walk. And then the answer, it is raining. It is raining. It means as only advice. It's different, right? The first is permission, asking permission to go out, and the answer is raining. And then the second example, it's meant as a reason. And then the last is as a advice. Okay, there are two factors of change the sentence. The first is the sociolinguistic context. The sociolinguistic context, who is speaking, to whom, and why. And then the second, influences the meaning. Influences the meaning, the relative position of the utterance within the discourse. Okay, the nature of discourse. The first is set pitch transition associated with particular specialist field. It means have been used in ESP teaching materials. One of the most influential project of this kind has been the analysis of doctor and patients. For the second, drew materials which aim to explain how meaning is created by the relative positions of the sentences in written text. Okay, for the second nature of this course, it means this has become the central feature of large number of ESP textbooks. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you for a great attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.